Hello and welcome to another House of Wisdom Lightest and Best Knife Review, where we look at the lightest and best editions from a variety of manufacturers. Today we're going to be looking at the Zero Tolerance 0900. This is going to be part knife review and part public service announcement because this year, 2017, Zero Tolerance announced that they're retiring 4 models, one of which is this beautiful 0900, a Les George design. Now, the 0900 is not the lightest knife that Zero Tolerance has ever made. There are 2 knives at least that are lighter. One is the 0450, this one is in carbon fiber, and then a little lighter than that is the 0460, which came out this year also. These are actually the lightest and best of the Zero Tolerance lineup. But the 0900 is a wonderful knife, and we're going to be talking about that today. It occupies a category called the Little Big Knife, and it is based on the Les George Mini Harpy model. I'll put a picture of it up in the upper right hand corner. As of September 2017, the Mini Harpy was available at Monkey Edge for sale. There were some customs available for $900 each. I want to compare that with this knife, which Zero Tolerance sells for only $150 each. So each person has to decide, is it worth buying the full custom from the designer Les George Mini Harpy for 6 times the value of this $150 Mini Harpy? That's a decision you'll want to make because, as I mentioned, it's going out of production, and when they go out of production, the costs on the secondary market usually only go upward. The Little Big Knife category has several entries. I'm going to mention some of them so you can look at them. Firstly, there is the Spyderco Techno by Marcin Slisch, the Spyderco Chubby by Michael Birch, the Boker Pipsqueak by Neil Blackwood, the Boker CCT by Three Sisters Forge, the Sherman by Medford, which has a 2.6-inch blade, the Panzer by Medford, which has a 2.5-inch blade. Both of these knives are named after tanks because they are little stocky tank-like things. And then a knife that I have, the Medford Micro Patureum, which is a 3-inch blade, but wow, look how thick that blade stock is. It is really a Little Big Knife. Another Little Big Knife I have is the Custom Knife Factory Peace Dukes, which has also a really thick blade stock, and that's the same idea. It's a little knife, but it packs a wallop. Thick blade stock, chunky knife, and that's what this knife for review is today, the 0900. Thick blade stock, full titanium handle, frame lock, a chunky knife. It's substantial, but also a good EDC size. We'll talk about its specifications. Firstly, the blade length is 2.7 inches. The handle is 3.9 inches. This handle has a custom anodization job from JD Cutlery. I highly recommend it, and JD Cutlery still has 0900s for sale that you can get a custom anodization job on, as of the filming of this video anyway. And the total knife length is 6.6 inches. And a hefty weight of 4.3 ounces for such a small 2.7-inch blade. I have some knives for size comparison. We'll start out with the Microtech UTX 70, which is a bit smaller. Then we have the Benchmade 940, which is larger. We have the Spyderco Dragonfly, which is a little smaller. And then the Hinder XM18 in 3-inch, which is a little larger. And the Kershaw Leek, which is similar in size. The blade on the knife is made of S35VN steel. As you can tell, it's written here somewhere. There we go, S35VN steel. And it has a clip point configuration. It has a flat ground on the primary bevel and a stone wash. There is on the spine some mild jimping and then a little sulcus to place your thumb if you want to choke up on it a little, and some swedging to cut down on the weight a bit. The method of deployment of the knife is by flipper, and the flipper has good jimping. It flips fast. I'm trying to keep my wrist neutral and not flip it because some of you have complained that I wrist flip some of the knives. So out of courtesy, I want to let you know how nice this flips. I want to comment on the action though. One of the things that's distinctive about this knife is that it has a large detent angle. That angle at which the blade goes before it stops, as you can tell, that's about a 30-degree detent angle. So you have to baby it over that, which gives you maybe 50 to 60 degrees before you can shake it closed. Now you can just break it a little bit and then slam it closed like that, overcoming the detent angle, but I just wanted to point out to you why it has such a large detent angle. We're going to look inside here with my headlamp and see if I can get that in focus. You can see there at the back of the back spacer, or not the back spacer, but the over travel stop slash lock bar insert is the detent ball, and it's placed very far at the back. If you move that up to the front here laterally, it can make your detent angle shorter, so that would be a recommendation for improvement I would give to the knife. But like I say, it's going out of production, so it's like giving opportunities for improvement is like criticizing a man at his funeral. There's not really much improvement that can be done if they're putting it out of production. Moving on. The handle is a full titanium handle. There is no interior milling, no attempt to make it lighter. As I've mentioned, mine is anodized in this green with a brown drizzle by J.D. Cutlery. The pivot is a KVT ball bearing pivot. It uses the Chi hexagonal stop here on the back side, which is nice because it allows you to be able to undo the pivot with only one Torx bit. Other GT knives and Chi knives have this. For example, the 0460 has it. However, the 0450 doesn't have it. It freely spins, and I'm a big fan of Chi USA when they use the hexagonal pivot so that it can't spin. The lockup on the knife is by frame lock, and as I've mentioned, it has a lock bar insert with over travel stop. Excuse me. This knife has about a 40% lockup there, and the lockup is very good and very solid. There's no blade play at all, typical of zero tolerance knives. The pocket clip on the knife I'm a big fan of. It's a loop over deep carry pocket clip. It's got good spring retention. It is left or right hand carry, tip up design only. Concerning the ergonomics of the knife, little big knives will have a short blade and a short handle. On this particular knife, you can get all four fingers on it. If you have big hands, you can probably wrap that fourth finger around the heel of the knife and be okay with it. The ergonomics are acceptable to me. The construction is simple. I really like the construction. It has a pivot and one standoff, and it's a flow-through design. I love it when knife makers do that. I'll give you another example of a simple flow-through design like this. This is the Browse Spectre, and I picked this up at Blade 2017. It's the same way. Jason Browse said he wanted to produce the simplest, sleekest knife he could, and so this is what he made, the Spectre. It has a pivot and one standoff flow-through design. It is a beautiful knife in its simplicity, and the Zero Tolerance 0900 shares that simplicity. The action of the knife is really good. It flips very strongly, and once you overcome that large detent angle, it can shake shut. The signage, like all Zero Tolerance, is too much. The show side they did pretty well. The blade is sterile, and the handle has the Zero Tolerance maker mark, but it's not colored, and so it blends into the handle of the knife, and the show side's very good. On the clip side, the handle doesn't have any signage, but the blade has 5 items. It has the model number, 0900, George Designs, Chi USA, the blade steel type, which in this case is S35VN, and then the serial number. So I always encourage zero tolerance to put less signage on their knives, especially the serial number. People who do knives really don't care about the serial number. So what are my impressions of the zero tolerance 0900? Are there opportunities for improvement? Certainly. For example, there's no interior milling on the complete titanium handle scales, which makes it a relatively heavy knife. For a 2.7-inch blade, it's 4.3 ounces. That's pretty hefty. The detent angle is too large, in my opinion, and this could be fixed if they would move the detent ball from more medially to more laterally. However, you can overcome this by just babying it over there, and then you can shake it shut. Or you can just break it a little bit and slam it shut, but that doesn't bother you. And there could be less signage on the clip side of the blade. This is common with all zero tolerance. They put a lot of stuff on there, and they could do away with that. But my main criticism of the knife is that zero tolerance is ceasing its production. I wish they continued to produce this so that everybody could have one. I really like it. It's one of my favorite in the class of the little big knife. There's a lot to like. For example, it has the Kai USA hexagonal pivot so that you can undo the pivot with only one Torx bit. It flips fast and it flips hard. It's a great size. It's small with its 6.6-inch overall length, and it's very hefty. So if you wanted a hefty knife, one of those little big knives, this may be the knife for you. I love the clip. The loop over deep carry clip is one of my favorite constructions. And I love the construction with the single standoff and pivot. It's got a flow-through design. It's easy to disassemble, especially because it has the Kai hexagonal pivot. And the cost. I love the cost. Zero tolerance offers you the ability to buy a Les George Mini Harpy design for 1/6 the price, for $150 instead of $900. So in summary, I just want to let you guys know zero tolerance is ending the production of its 0900. If you're wanting a little big knife, this may be the one for you. But you better get one before they're all gone. They're not making anymore. And that's a sadness for knife enthusiasts. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment on what you think about the 0900, and we'll see you on the next House of Wisdom Lightest and Best video.